Welcome to the Rip 28 podcast. This is the Rip 28 podcast. It's a podcast where a few friends get together and we talk about a few things. Sometimes we talk about things you may like. Sometimes we talk about things you may not like. But we keep on talking about them on the Rip 28 podcast. I'm Sly Williams and I'm joined by my homeboys. We don't have the president, but we're going to start off with your favorite teacher's favorite teacher. What's going on, LBZ?
Let's go. It's BZ the GOAT, man, aka everybody's favorite. Not just your favorite teacher or your coach. I'm just everybody's favorite. Let's get it.
I hear you. I hear you. Check this out. We got a special guest, a special guest. We have the owner of Abzolute Ink. I'm talking about a businessman, a mover and shaker, someone doing big things around the community. And I'm gonna be honest, this is a guy that I have known. I don't know how long I done known this dude. I done known this
Forever.
dude
Just say forever,
30
man.
something
Y'all,
years.
y'all old.
30 and I'm gonna tell something to the whole Rip 28 podcast world. All the listeners out there, this is the only man who has ever walked this face of the earth who can say he got the best of me in a fight. The only
Big
man,
facts.
the only man who ever walked this face of this earth who can say he got the best of me in a fight. We used to go at it every day. His older brother made us fight every day at the NYSP camp. The one and
A lot
only.
of people don't know about that one.
They don't know. Mr. Ivory.
I promise
James.
you, a lot of people don't know about that one.
What's going on, my brother?
Hey, man, blessed and highly favored, man. For those who don't know, I am Goodie Mr. 803. 605-8244. That number right there always works. You can always hit me up. Abzolute Ink, 4051 Broadway Road.
Here it is, man. Hey, Ivory, like I said, he's a lifelong friend of me and Bron, man. Ivory has done a lot of things, but one thing that Ivory has done, and we're gonna jump straight into this. I know we had a schedule and all, but hell, we're gonna jump straight into it, man. One
Let's
thing
talk about it.
Ivory's done that made his mark on the community, literally made a mark on the community, is his tattoo shop, man. Ivory. Now all our life, man, I've known two people who can draw. White guy named Brendan O'Shea and Ivory James. These are the two most talented artists I have ever seen in my entire life. Ivory, you took that talent and became a tattoo shop owner. How did that happen, man? What's your journey, man? Break down that journey, man.
It started young, really, at my mama's kitchen table. I remember a good friend of ours, Rodney Brown, matter of fact. First
Rodney Brown.
tattoo I ever
Hot
did
rod, hot
on my
rod.
mama's kitchen table. I was about 13 years old, just trying to figure it out. It was stick poke back then, just a needle and thread and some homemade ink, and let's see what we come up with, because I was always drawing and stuff like that. So it just kind of like came natural. Mama came home and cut my behind, boy. I'm
Miss
talking about
Queenie.
real talk. Real talk. But it was just something that I never did let go. It was something that I did for fun at one time. Life put me in a position where I had to eat. And, it was natural to go to what I naturally knew. So it put me in a position to where I'm at right now. It's something that you definitely got to stay focused at one time. It definitely takes your time, your effort, so a lot of self-discipline. But it feels good to be here now.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. Man, y'all doing it wrong. It's absolute mother loving.
Mother loving ink. You understand
You know what
me?
I'm talking about? Not only is he a
At
good
all
friend of
times.
mine, not only is he a good friend of mine, man, and an old teammate, but he's my tattoo artist, man. Every tattoo I got on my body, Goodie Mr. 803. Pull up, hop out, we'll get it right the first time did it, man. I'm proud of you, man, because I know where you came from. You know what I mean? I know I know a lot of your journey, because part of it I was there with you, from basketball to football and all that neighborhood stuff. But man, just to go through what you went through and to be where you are now, tell me how does that make you feel when I know a lot of people counted you out?
Like I said, when I first came on, blessed and highly favored, you know, to be even counted in the numbers today. Like I said, you know, at one point, you know, it was questionable whether I would be here, and that's, you know, free or, you know, living or breathing. You know, some of the obstacles that we go through as young Black men, some of the choices that we make, you know, some of the positions that we put ourselves in, you know, I was one, you know, did 14 years in prison. So it took a lot to come home, and some of the hurdles that I had to overcome, like staying focused with what I wanted to do. And then with knowing what you want to do, still the hurdles that you have to overcome with knowing what you still got to tote with you, a reputation, a mark on your jacket. These are things that will make it harder for you to get rent to a building, rent for housing, money for food, education, all of this. So these are things that not only affect me, but affect people that in my community that look just like me. So with that, I understand that we all play a part, you know, where every action is a reaction. So I took it upon myself, you know, to kind of like put out a better reaction so that I can get a better reaction from those around me, from my community, from those that even from those that thought, that counted me out. You know, we here now. Big cup of coffee. It is what it is.
Yes, sir.
You know, and the sky's the limit. You know, I ain't through, I'm just getting started.
Now that is interesting. You talk about, you know, some of the struggles, you know, I guess getting the rent, having somebody willing to rent you a place, you know, with having a record and stuff like that. So how did that happen for you? How did you, you know, come up in your mind that you was gonna be a business owner, that you was gonna own your own tattoo shop? How that happened?
Well, honestly, at one point it was only a dream, I would say, because the reality of it was, you know, this is an industry where it's not really that easy just to get in, to just become a tattoo artist. When you really look at the numbers, it's kind of like you entering into any other field. When you look at the numbers of tattoo shops around you and you look at the number of how many booths in that tattoo shop, well, the chances of you becoming a licensed tattoo artist might be slim when you consider the fact that it might not be but 5 tattoo shops in the general area. And out of all of those tattoo shops, only 1 or 2 actually look like you. And out of those 1 or 2, it's only 5 to 6 booths in each one of them. So what's your chances of employment? It's kind of like slim to none. So it's something that you really gotta want it. You really gotta want more for yourself. You know, so for me, it was a lot of traveling. You know, I got my start at Tattoo Trillionaires. Shout out Will. Real talk, that was somebody who opened the door for a lot of people who didn't have an avenue, you know, to even think about becoming a tattoo artist. And, you know, from there, it was just self-determination, where you want to take it, you know. And, you know, like I said, with living situations and stuff like that, coming home, I was back and forth to Charleston. So at times it was hard to get back and forth to work. You know, it is what it is. You know, that's life. We all go through it, the ups and downs. But like I said, I stayed committed. I worked at some shops that will work you until it's time to get your license. And then, oh, it's time to let you go, because we're not here to really empower you. It's really only about $1. And especially when, you know, the demographic is different. You know, it makes a big difference in this business sometimes. But like I said, you know, I was able to push through, and I was actually denied 13 buildings in Columbia. You know, 13 applications was denied. You know, everything will be fine at one point, and then you get to a certain point in the negotiation, then hold up, oh, we got a problem. We'd actually rather let this building sit empty for another year before we let you, you know. So that's that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother subject. But like I said, those are some of the obstacles and hurdles that I had to overcome. But staying consistent, I would tell anybody, the things that you want, it shows in your actions, not your words. And as long as you get up and put the right foot forward every day, eventually you're gonna get to your goal. So
Okay.
That's what's up, man. I've long said you're one of the most talented people, not just as an artist or a tattoo artist, that I've ever known. Tell us about some of your other talents, man, because I think you're pretty dope besides the tattooing, brother.
I would be singing too, man.
I
yeah,
said let
man,
him
it's
tell. Let him tell, Faison Love.
sometimes it will be easier to try to name the things that I don't do.
Don't
You
do,
know,
right?
the list is shorter.
But
You know,
yeah,
just
on
to
that
be honest.
music,
But like I said, you know, I've always been blessed. The hardest thing for me is forever been trying to figure out what to do, because I've always been somebody that could do, you know, a little bit of any and everything. Like Vesta mentioned, you know, singing, rapping, music, playing music, you know, sports. You know, I was just a all around person, kind of like growing up, all the way to the streets. I mean, I was just a type person that was loved everywhere I went. So that kind of like made it easier for these talents to be kind of like even shown, you know. And you know, shout out to the people who did believe in me along the way, you know.
hey, you was all right in sports now. Don't be talking about you was all
You
that.
know, listen, I was
You
always good
was all
enough.
right.
I was always good enough to drop you off. You know, that's all that counts.
Man,
You know,
listen here. Hey,
Hey,
you ain't
LeBron,
dropping nobody else.
he get better in his old age and his memory.
Yeah,
And the
man. You
memory.
know what I'm saying? The memory is on.
His memory.
listen, it's not the memory, it's the records. Let the record
Hey,
reflect now.
let
Yeah.
me tell you something. I know you talented, but I'm gonna tell you something I'm gonna always remember you by besides the body art you got on me. We was at Columbia High and we was at the talent show. And Curtis Wilson was up there, you know, he was the MC. And
Yeah.
he said, next coming to the stage, we got Mr. Ivory James. Man, Ivory was up there at first. Man, he disappeared. Man, we sat there 10 minutes waiting for Ivory. That man ain't never come back out. We ain't never
Big
seen him
fact.
since. Hey, I ain't seen him till I got my next tattoo. We ain't gonna say what happened. I just know I ain't seen him till I got my next tattoo.
Yeah, things, yeah. It was that, yeah, like I say, that's might be for another conversation, you know. I was
Hey,
into a little bit of everything back then.
now that's what I'm talking about. I said, boy, they missed the game and all. But yeah, man, I'm proud of you, man, to say the least, brother. You know, knowing where you came from and your journey, just keep it up, man. You know, the sky ain't the limit. You can go past the sky. You know what I'm saying?
Big talk.
Man,
Yes,
Big
sir.
shout out to the people in the chat. We got Tasha out there. Who that is? Paris. Paris out there. We got Aiken out there. Shout out to all the people, people in the chat shouting us out.
Chizette.
We appreciate you checking it out. Make sure that you click like and subscribe, all that. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Get those numbers up, man. We got to get these numbers up. Got to get
Not just on Facebook, though. We got to go everywhere, Sly.
Yeah,
we got to go to
hey,
YouTube.
Man,
Big
we
talk.
everywhere. LeBron, where are we at, man? What are we located on?
We on YouTube. We on Facebook. We on Instagram. We on Twitter. We on Podbean, Podbait, Anchor, Apple iTunes. Man, we everywhere. If you can listen to a podcast, we there, man. So it ain't no
That
excuse
sounds
for
like
you
global
not
to me.
Man, we
Global.
everywhere. We worldwide, brother. We worldwide.
Man, we checking out them numbers, man. We got people in Israel, got people in Saudi Arabia, a couple of African countries out there checking us out, man. I don't know, man. Hey, we doing all right for some country boy.
Yeah, now that Goodie Mr. 803 is on, we know the African population gonna pick up.
Big promise. That's a big promise.
Man, check this, man. We see all of your work, man. What's your Instagram handle so people can go and look at some of your Instagram stuff that you do, some of the work you do?
My Instagram is Abzolute Ink. That's Abzolute ABZOLUTEINK Tattoo Gallery. Facebook, Ivory James. That's IBERYJAMES. And if you had a hard time finding me there, you can always just Google me. That's the easiest thing to do. Goodie Mr.
My name say
803.
Google
me,
me.
baby.
We ain't even got
My
to make this
man say
hard.
Google me.
Google
Yeah,
me.
I'm
Google
Googleable.
me.
Yeah, I'm Googleable.
Put
That
me
part.
in the search engine. You
And
see
check
me?
this out.
Put me in
I
the
tell
search
people,
engine.
I ask you that because some of the work you do, man, I sit there and you do like I think one of the services, and excuse me if I'm wrong, I don't know much about tattoos, but it called a cover up. I think that's what it's called, cover up. Man, people
Oh,
come in, they might have somebody ex-girlfriend tattooed on their arm, and you make that thing go away, bro. How you do all that?
that's a big promise. You know, the biggest part of that is being able to be creative, think outside of what's already there. You know, I hold a title here in this city, cover of king. You need to go. I'm gonna get rid of it. That's a promise. You know, but it's something that's not very easily done. You know what I'm saying? It takes often several sessions, but sometimes you can get it done in one. But like I said, it ain't nothing easy to it. I would really advise people to come see me the first time, man. That way you really ain't got to go through that. Just get it
Tell them
done
your
right the first
slogan.
time. Just pull up, hop
Hit
out.
'em
I
with
take
the
care of it, man. I
Take
promise.
care. I promise you.
I promise.
I
It's
never
been
left
30 years now,
disappointed.
so at the end of the day, I mean,
I never left disappointed, man. I every time I come out there, I'm ready to show off your work, man. You know what I'm saying?
big facts. Now, I mean, we came from the backyard, so
Yeah. Yeah, I was
for real.
coming when it was in the backyard. So you know I'm a supporter. I'm down for you. I got one in Charleston one time when you was down there. You came by there and put the big one on the arm.
Big facts. First of the year, I got a surprise for y'all, though, man. We will be opening the second location. I'll let y'all know where it's at, though.
We
Y'all
breaking
stay
That's
news.
tuned.
what I'm talking about.
We
That's what
breaking
I'm
news
talking
Yeah,
about.
on
and let me say the
the
biggest thing about my shop. It's not just a tattoo shop. I believe the biggest thing about this shop is it's an apprentice shop, and it's a place where I train everybody that basically comes here, you know, in search of a career as being a tattoo artist that don't have that outlet, that don't have that shop that's gonna get them that welcome or that time to actually teach them and mold them into what they need to be. And I do want to say that the majority of my success has been them. So, you know, even though a lot of the light gets shined on me a lot of the time, a lot of the work and attention and more attention should go towards them. We was nominated this year for Best New Business in Columbia. And that's something that I can't do on my own. I did win Best Artist in Columbia this year.
That's what I was gonna hit on.
But I do believe they need their own platform, because these are people that the industry has at some point said that we either just don't have time, or we either just don't need you, or your style of work don't work with us, or some shape, form, or fashion. You know, I can't say that the jobs that I've offered have changed these employees' lives, you know, so that's the thing that I try to focus on, growing this bigger so that we can take on more students, more clients, you know. So it's a growing process day by day.
So let me ask you a question, man. Now, you know, I don't have that artist hand. I don't have that, but I draw a mean stick figure though. I draw a mean stick figure.
Well, look, some people need to just draw disability and unemployment. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about drawing nothing else. You know, let the artist handle that. You know what I'm talking about?
So well, let me ask you a question. Now, let's say I had some talent and I wanted to become a tattoo artist, man. How do they go about doing it, man? It's like you get them off the street and you let them go on somebody's arm, or they tattoo on a potato?
Negative. That I will not do. Pick you up and let you go. Like I say, I can't say that one of the things that, other than art, that's a big part of this job is being able to grow mentally, because we deal with the public. You know, it's a hands-on job, so you got to learn how to speak, and it's a lot of other things other than the art that help you survive in this industry. You know, yes ma'am, no ma'am go a long way. You know, and that doesn't just apply to old age. You know, so it's a lot of those things. You know, I can't say that I've never got rid of an artist that I was training or who has come here for training because of art. Because art is something that everybody can pretty much learn at their own pace. But with this job here, I would say the best thing to do if you really wanted to become an apprentice, really wanted to become a tattoo artist, is pick up the phone, dial 605-8244 Absolute Mother-Loving Ink. This is probably where it's gonna start. All roads gonna lead here. And from there, it's just, you start basically with a light box, a lot of tracing, a lot of boring stuff that most artists don't want to do. Some of them gonna feel like they already know this, but the things that they're gonna be learning is like stuff like muscle memory. You know, that's you learning without even knowing that you're learning. Then we graduate from there to practice skins and other programs on YouTube that kind of like teach and explain. And we get them to the point where they can do smaller tattoos like names until we can advance them further on. You know, so it's a step-by-step process. It's something that don't happen overnight. Some learn a lot faster than others, but.
Okay. Now check this out, man. I see your work. You do a lot of stuff, man. What do you think is like the longest one you ever did? What's the longest tattoo you ever that took you the longest?
Longest tattoo I ever did was about 9.5 hours. A young lady from out of Charleston came down, and she got a dragon from like her knee to like the middle of her rib cage to right up like beside her breast. And it was in full color, so it was like layer after layer after layer after layer. And surprisingly, she was able to sit there like with no problems, none whatsoever. But when she got up, when we finally finished and she got up, well, she instantly went to throw up. Like real talk, like literally. You know, a lot of fatigue, tired, made sure she got her room that night, made sure she was safe. But yeah, that's pretty much the longest tattoo I ever did, which surprised me. You know, and tattooing is a thing where you got to be careful to pay attention to your client, you know, body reactions to what you're doing. You don't want a person to pass out. You want to make sure to inform your client they want to eat, make sure they got enough energy to endure.
Okay. Now you put any tattoos in some special places? You put the tattoos in special places?
Like I say, man, I done it all. I promise you I done it all.
Hey, what he really want to know is, can you tattoo him with a highlighter? Because you ain't gonna see none of the ink on his shoulder or nowhere.
I ain't well, like I say, you know, dog, that's white ink won't work. I will say that. White ink ain't gonna work. You're too black. But with that being said, you know, if you's a real expertise, what we got to do is just approach the tattoo from a different perspective. We want to use a lot of negative space instead of using, you know, going the opposite way. We would use the negative space to actually show the tattoo. You know, so instead of like filling in a star on a person, my complexion would show up a lot better versus if I was on you and I feel that star in the same way. Somebody of a dark complexion, you would shade on the outside of the star and their skin would actually become the star itself, which would give you the same effect. So a lot of time it's playing tricks with the eye also.
Okay, I see you dropping some stuff on me. I ain't know. I just, you know, because I don't have no tattoos, man. I'm gonna be honest.
That just means it's time to come see me. 4051 Broad River, Sweet B. Pull up.
I just can't think of nothing that important to put on me.
Now listen, start with a football.
I can't think of that. Not important.
Hey, he don't want to put no commander on his arm.
Yeah, they don't.
Command the land.
We ain't the
Command the land.
Redskins no more.
Hey, speaking of that, I know
Hey,
all
man,
of us
football season about to start.
yeah, we ex-athletes. Well, I'm still an athlete. I don't know about y'all.
I'm still an athlete.
Well, in your mind,
you count me out.
Hey,
Well,
you can't
now
dunk
I
like you used.
I won't even break a fingernail on this hand right here.
Hey,
Negative.
man,
I'm a tattoo artist. Yeah,
that's what I'm about to say. That's how you earn your living. But who your squad is though?
That
Shout
part.
out
They
to
want to play football. I'm telling them go see coach.
Hey, what?
Go see
Send them
LB.
my way. That's right.
That part.
You said it. What up, Tito?
Tito.
Big
I
bro.
see
We talking about
Stacy said she
football.
got a list of 36 tattoos she wants. God damn.
Come on.
Hey, well,
Stacey.
listen, we're gonna start with number one then. Can't get number one at a time.
Yeah, sit down, Stacy.
Yeah.
Hey, check. Speaking of football, man, who your squad? We know who you with, Sly, but you could tell us again in your own words.
You know, I'm a diehard forever to the end Washington Redskin football team commander fan, man. You know, football about to start. That's gonna be my squad till the wheels roll off, man. What about you, Ivory? Who your squad, Ivory?
Sad to say, man, I'm a Cowboy fan. I always have and I always will be, you know. Up or down, you know. We've been down so long that I don't know which way up is, but
man.
I know, right?
What about you, Bron?
Man, you know, I roll with the Bills Mafia, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Mafia member since 1986, 87. That's what I roll with.
So, but check this. The reason I asked this, man, because, you know, football season about to start. They're about to kick off the NFL. But the thing is, it was a debate going on is how long do you keep your team? We see you down there, Tito. We know you a Packers fan.
Cheesehead.
Packers fan.
Cheesehead.
But what we try to figure out is how long do you stay with your team? And is it against man law to switch up? You know, once you're a fan, do you have to stay a fan forever?
In my case, I can't see me cheering for another team, man. When I was younger, shout out to Diane Brown. My mom's tried to make me a Cowboy fan with Danny White and Ed Too Tall Jones. I just wasn't having it. I'm a Buffalo Bill fan, so I don't know how to cheer for nobody else.
And that's my thing. You know, hell, I played for the Redskins at St. Andrew Park.
Yeah.
And Doug Williams won the Super Bowl. You had a black quarterback win the Super Bowl. So that's it.
That's it.
I mean, that's kind of like the same way I look at it, you know, all the way back to Pee Wee League, you know, it was Cowboys or nothing, you know, so it's kind of like what you gonna wake up and switch homeboys like that's fake. Ain't nothing real about that, you know. Shoot.
Hey, I was a Steeler, and I just can't cheer for the Steelers, man. I can't do it.
Well, that's understanding. Steelers, I mean.
But here go the question now. I done moved to Atlanta, right? So everything around here is all Atlanta Falcons. So I find myself following the Falcons. I ain't gonna say I root for them, but I follow them. Since you're in a new city, I'm gonna give some people a pass if they're in a new city and they going for the team that they're in the city of.
That's just because you close and might be able to go see a game. Trust me.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
But now the ones who gonna go and jump and be like, I'm a Bengals fan because they made it to the Super Bowl. Now I'm gonna be a Chiefs fan. You know what I'm saying?
If
I don't understand that.
If you're over a certain age, dog, you can't be a Chiefs fan. Because how many Chiefs fans you knew back when we was growing up?
Exactly.
How many Rams fans? Yeah, so like Tito said, we got to stick with him through ups and downs. But he say he support the Panthers, but he's a cheesehead. I guess he's kind of being a homer.
Yeah, because that's just the closest one to you. You can see them.
Yeah.
Right.
You can reach out and touch them.
Yeah.
Like I honestly would go to a Panther game, but you know, I don't like nothing about the Panther.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I went to a Panther and Jets game. I had no root interest. It was the closest stadium. It was a game on a Sunday. Hey, I had time. Let's go.
Right. It was more for the
I just like
experience. That's it.
football. Yeah, it was just football. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I even go sit through a darn Redskin Jaguar game just because it's
For
football.
real. Because I feel disrespected with Cam dress code. We need to switch this up, player. I don't know what you got going on. I cannot support that message. I mean,
Hey man, I can't. I don't know if I'm speaking to Ivory or Ray. Boy, you look just like your daddy. Boy, I saw him
hey,
at CVS. Boy, shout out to Mr. Ray.
big shout out to Mr. Ray.
Big shout out, dog. Big shouts out to Mr.
The
Ray.
GOAT.
You
The
know,
GOAT.
you know, it's
That's
funny.
my twin for real.
Yes, sir. You his twin.
It's
Ain't no
funny.
lie.
We talking about parents and being twins and parents and being twins. Going on in the news right now is Ti and his son King. Now, for
Uh,
those of you that don't know, King is, I guess, one of the youngest of Ti kids, but he recently got arrested outside of Atlanta for, I guess, wanting to be hard or wanting to be tough. I don't know what happened, how he got arrested. But Ti came and did an Instagram post, and Ti said, "Yo, man," he said, "stop hitting me up." He said, "Stop bothering me." He say, "I done talked to his mama. I done talked to his grandmama. I done told him you going to jail. You keep this shit up, you're gonna go to jail. You're gonna go to prison." He didn't say jail. He said you're gonna go to prison if you keep up this bullshit trying to be something that you ain't. So my thing is, you got some people was like, Ti, that's a great thing to say. Some people was like, nah, you ain't never supposed to give up on your kid. How y'all feel about that? What Ti said about being a parent and kind of just telling your kid, hey man, I can't do nothing for you. How y'all feel about Ti?
Man, T.I. been told them kids they went for the streets. I remember when they first came out, he was telling y'all suburban kids, stop that foolishness. That ain't what you was raised up on. But I look at it, he got to be a parent all the way through. If you're a parent, you don't just stop being a parent when he's 18. He need chastising, but the streets gonna wake him up. The streets gonna wake him up, and they might wake him up or they might put him to sleep.
Yeah.
One of the two.
yeah,
That's your choice.
one way or the other. I mean, when you really look at it from the biggest perspective of what it really is, it's kind of like if you do, I'll follow. So it's kind of like you got a parent who talk about X, Y, and Z, regardless of whether those are your actions. These are the things that you kind of like glorifying. You got to look at the kids that's kind of like watching you succeed in this area. That's the lifestyle that they want to live regardless. So it's kind of like, what are you selling them at the same time? Like to be conscious of the bigger picture. It's gonna be something that, especially as a parent in hip hop, shoot, it's gonna be something he's gonna have to fight probably for the rest of his life. I definitely wouldn't suggest that anybody give up on their kids, but at some point you got to let your kids, learn a lesson about life too. You can't babysit them. You definitely can't hide the truth from them.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting spot, my man, in. Cause
Yeah,
like you say, you done made your whole fortune on gangster rap, on trap music.
right, right,
You everything you did, you talked about what you did in your past, and now you got a kid who grew up in he grew up in fucking Eagles Landing, one of the most expensive communities, south of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Grew up with a silver
right.
spoon in his mouth, and now he a tough guy or portraying a tough guy. And then he go to think he ain't up about 5'2", 5'3" anyway. So a lot of that may be that Napoleonic complex. I know I ain't saying
Napoleon.
Napoleonic complex, being the little man wanting to be a little bit more, a lot of little people a little bit more ferocious than what they really are.
Man, he trying to make
And
a name for himself,
yeah,
man.
but you
He
also
trying to make a name
gotta
for
think about
himself.
the fact of who his dad is too. The attention and pressure and weight that's on him. you know, every place that he go, you know, he gonna be tried a certain way. He gonna be looked at a certain way. You know, he gonna be pushed a certain way. So, you know, it's kind of like you got to think about a teenage kid, you know, going through those type of issues. Also, those that's like weight that boy got to carry at the same token. You know, so the only thing that you can do is, you know, try to steer him in the right direction.
Yeah, but he got other kids too that's having to live up or live under that name. They ain't out here doing all that foolishness and running reckless. That's part of his, you know, conscious
Choice,
decision. That's
right?
choice. And like you said, there's consequences behind all our actions. And sometimes you got to let them hit that wall and let them see this ain't what you want. You need to go on back to your what it is, Eagle Land in your little plush neighborhood and be who you are. You're a spoon-fed kid.
For real, boy. I seen a part of Atlanta. I promise he don't want to see. Atlanta, look, Atlanta USP. He ain't want none of that. I promise that ain't what he want.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that. Terrell just Terrell Bright just put in the comic off subject. Allow me to speak on the growth and maturity of Ivory. So good to see you move the way you move and achieve success. I pray continued success for everything you touch. Nothing but respect. And that's what Terrell said. That's what Terrell said.
That
Terrell,
man
I
named
think Terrell
Terrell, man.
saw it too, up somewhere up there now.
Say Terrell, man. Big
Yeah.
thank you, number one. Like thank you. And like I say, it's a lot more. It's a whole lot more to come. Absolute Freight up and running. Like we
I'm
doing
glad you
big things.
touched on that. Talk a little bit about Absolute Freight, man. I wanted to get into that, man. What's that? Your new business venture?
Yeah, one of my newest business ventures. My stepson, shout out to Cam, U.S. Army.
Yeah.
My former player, Cam.
Yeah, big talk, big talk. Real
Yes,
proud
sir.
of him, real proud of him. You know, young
No
man
doubt.
kept his head low, doing what he's supposed to do. You know, like and this is all our responsibility, not just to our kids, but to all of these younger men in our community. You know, especially the ones that got an ear and want to listen. You know, it's our job to be able to give them something positive. You know, so he will be coming home from the Army in about, well, actually a few months now. You know, he'll be resigning from the Army, a few issues, but like I say, he will be all right. But he was my big motivation. You know, I knew he was coming home, and I know that his job while in the Army is driving truck, and I know that it's something that he liked to do. So I'm trying to, you know, prepare a way for him. You know, teaching the business. I don't want you to just, you know, work in a truck. I want you to know the business, know how to run a business versus just knowing how to work. You know, sometimes that's the only thing that we taught, you know, and that those are limitations, you know, so.
You know what? I love what you just said, man. That shit bring a smile and make me feel good in my heart, man. It's like, you got your son getting out of the military, and instead of you trying to, all right, here, go and find you a job, let me set you up in a business. Let's take some ownership of this thing so you can see how to run this trucking company instead of just working for somebody. And I think that's something we need to have more of in the community. I mean, everybody ain't gonna be no owner. Let's be honest. Everybody not meant
No.
but
Everybody's not gonna be an owner, but that mindset,
yeah.
that mindset is a mindset that says in itself that I have no limitations, you know.
And I love that. I love the fact that you won't set your boy up and get him in the right place, that where he can make that choice and make that decision on how he want to be with his life and do big things, man. And I like Absolute Freight because somebody told me a long time ago, they say you got all these goods in the United States. They got to get there. So somebody got to get them there. And so that's money that's gonna always be there. People always talk about. I'm a big proponent of going to college, man. and me more going to college is for the experience more than the education. But there are a lot of people out here who ain't never stepped foot on a college campus who do real well for themselves, make real money by having these skills or having these trades and having these
Yes, sir.
business. And that trucking industry is
Yeah,
like
and
It's big.
that's one thing that I focus on. You know, I come from you know, a lot of my friends don't have, you know, a lot of them don't have GEDs. Let's just be honest. You know, some of them don't have high school education, some of them don't have college education, but those are, when you look at it, it's kind of like that's what they sell us. The image of success. If you don't have a college education, that you can't succeed. If you don't have X, Y, and Z, that you can't do this, that, and the third. You know, it's kind of like one of the things that I preach constantly in here to these artists. Like, you got an opportunity. Where you want to go? I asked one of my artists when I first hired him, you know, I'm not just gonna hire anybody just because you can draw. Like, it's 1,000 of y'all that can draw. But I asked him what he really wanted from tattooing, and he said, I think I want to be famous. I think I want everybody to know me for what I do. So I explained to him, you know, that take work. And he replied, well, I'm here to work. And you know, to this, well, that's one of my first licensed tattoo artists. And you know, I'm proud to say right now that you can't really turn on a social media and you don't know who Davy Bricks is. You know, so at some points we gotta provide the opportunity. It's up to them, you know, to take it the rest of the way. You know, it's just like you were saying, Vesta, with you know, my son. You know, it's kind of like the same thing with him. You know, it's up for him to take it the rest of the way. The same thing with like T.I. and his son, you know, what he prepared for him, you know. So at some point, you know, we got to lead, guide, and direct into, you know, a better path. You know what I'm saying? Because we know what the other direction to get you, you know, and it'll wake you up too.
Yeah. But see, with Cam, man, he's always been level-headed. So that's somebody that when you turn it over, I have no doubt that he's gonna carry it the rest of the way.
Yep, Cam, a natural born leader, right? But I'm gonna show you something. Because me and you know Cam, right? A natural born leader, right?
Right.
Anything that he want to do is natural that everybody else around him pretty much gonna follow, right? So imagine if he just get up one day and want to do the wrong thing. See, because that ain't nothing but a small mistake, a decision. So that's why, you know, people like you, important on and off the field, somebody that constantly in your ear. You know what I'm saying? The impact that you had in Cam life off the field. You know what I'm saying? That ain't got nothing to do with a football or running track or X, Y, and Z. You know, those are the impacts that make the differences that people don't see. And I believe that that's what made my business, you know, more impactful than anything. I think that's why we was nominated one of the best new businesses in Columbia, because we try to focus on more of what the client here for. Like, if you really think about a tattoo, 90% of the tattoos is attached to a direct feeling, emotion, or an event. So as an artist, if you overlook that, then you overlook the purpose of why the person was even there. That was your tip. That was your, let me make sure I bring somebody else to this man. That was your, you know, at some point, you'll start to understand that you give a lot more healing than anything with the art that you provide. So it's kind of like teaching artists to look a little deeper into what their job is. You know, if it's really just to do a tattoo, then it's really just about money. And if it's really just about money, those are the artists who work that you'll see go up and it'll go down. It'll be good one day and it'll be bad one day, you know, because they're working for the wrong thing. You can always tell where the heart at. You can always tell where the passion comes from.
Okay, man. I'm glad you dropping some of these jewels on us, man. I really, really appreciate a lot of the jewels you dropping on us, Ivory. To see your path. And one thing about this podcast, man, we really love black business. We love black people out here. And I'm be honest, ain't none of us ashamed to say it. We like black folk. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I love us.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. We love to see when black folk do great things, man. Check this out, man. We want to jump into the 90s block, man. Ivory, what we like to do, man, we like to take a stroll down the 90s block. We go and pick up something in the 90s and we talk about something in the 90s, man. On this one right here, in the 90s block, um God dog, it done slipped my head. What we gonna do in the 90s? We gonna mess around this time, and we gonna do cartoons in the 90s.
Oh,
Since we got artists, we gonna do cartoons in the 90s. Which one? Which cartoon of the 90s? Something we used to watch every day after school. Which one would you want to be? Which X-Man would you want to be? You remember the X-Men cartoon? You had Cyclops, Jubilee, Storm, Wolverine. What was the lady? Jean Grey. You had what was Wolverine? The bad. You had the Juggernaut. Which mutant would you want to be on the X-Men? That's a tough one.
I'm gonna go Wolverine.
You gonna go Wolverine?
Yeah,
Why Wolverine, man?
cause he healed fast.
Okay.
It was hard to hurt Wolverine, and I feel like I'm a man of steel. Can't hurt me, indestructible.
I guess.
that's good. That's good. Me, I would really want to be Professor X, man. Because I'm trying to control this without even needing the comfort of my chair. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't trying to be ripping and running and doing all that cutting people and all that. No, just hold on. Think about this, son. All right, my job through. I'm out. Hold up. All right, we good. Straight like that.
All right. Look in the comment before I give mine. Tara said he want to be Wolverine. Vanice
Smart man.
said Storm. Who Natasha said Jean Grey. Who that Molly said Jubilee.
Man, Jubilee can't even do nothing.
He had the little sparkles, I think.
That's right, the little sparkles.
Sparkles.
Somebody always had to come say Jubilee.
Stacy said Jean Grey too.
Jean Grey. Check this out. If it's me, I won't be Magneto. I won't be Magneto because you mess around with Magneto, you put that helmet on, you ain't got to worry about Professor X.
You kind of like got a Magneto look. I can give you that with the helmet. I can give you that.
It is shiny.
That part.
But you got that metal. You can get metal from anywhere. You pull out some metal and create a shield. Can't nobody shoot you with no bullet. You know what I'm saying? You can pick up tanks with your mind. Hey, Magneto was a bad boy, dog.
Hey, listen, you know where I'm gonna be? Right there in your mind. Don't even trip.
Hey,
I ain't even gonna get left home.
As long as I got my helmet on.
Gotta have a helmet though.
Look, as soon as you take it off, I'm gonna have you building all kind of tractors and all kind of that part.
Oh man. Tasha said Mystic. Who was Mystic? That's the blue lady?
I don't know.
I think she might have been on the dark side, must be.
Yeah, she said from the other side.
Yeah, must be.
Chad said Bishop. I like Bishop. Coming back.
Bishop was cool.
You talking about Bishop from
Deadpool?
No, man. Bishop when Tupac was Bishop from
Negative. That was not a cartoon. Hey, but listen, what was y'all favorite cartoon from the 90s?
I'll be honest. I think it was X-Men for me. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm gonna go Tom and Jerry.
I'm gonna have to say
Jerry like
Stru's
in the
made up, man.
man.
It
DuckTales,
wasn't no
man.
60s, man.
DuckTales.
DuckTales, man, all day long, man.
My son was watching DuckTales, and they got some new version of DuckTales out, man.
No,
That ain't the real one.
I promise you that ain't.
No, man.
Come on,
They
man.
done redid all our old cartoons, man. Cartoons ain't cartoons no more. Don't
They done
nobody get
redid
up
Chip
with a
and Dale.
bowl of cereal. Don't
The
nobody
Rescue
get up.
Rangers.
I was just about to say Chip and Dale. Chip and Dale.
I know they ain't redid Chip and Dale.
No, I don't think so.
That was the joint, Chip and Dale Rescue.
Yeah, see them two back to back. Them was classics.
Hey, check this out. My son, 5 years old, he don't get up with no bowl of cereal on Saturday morning talking about watching cartoons and then wrestling. The man, it ain't the same no more.
I promise you it ain't.
Real. They ain't real.
It ain't the same.
I promise you it ain't.
Man, I
man.
that boy Saturday morning, boy, you watch that block. And then you remember they had you know what I like? I low-key like Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, and Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky. Yeah.
Too.
I ain't say I wouldn't even, don't even trip. That was, yeah, see, I was just on the way. Yes, I missed that part.
That's what it was.
Pro Stars, yeah.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky with that damn hockey.
Mm-hmm. And then Hammerman, MC Hammer had a cartoon.
Yeah.
Magic shoes. Oh man, it was some good shit back in the 90s, man.
And they took the magic shoes and made Like Mike.
Oh yeah, that's some 2000 shit.
No, I know. I'm just saying they took our ideas, man, and messed up the originals, man.
See, there you go. Take the 2000s to go and mess something up, man.
They need to go to Absolute Mother Loving Ink for a cover up.
Hey man,
and just start all the way over. Let's go straight.
Redo it.
Please.
Just redo it, man. Redo it.
Well, check this, man. Check this. We're getting close to the time. Hey, before we get out of here, LBZ, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Man, I just want to shout out Avery James, man. Thank you for coming. The legend continues. And shout out to everybody that's trying to get it out the mud, man. We see you.
All right. Hey, Ivory, you got any parting comments, man? And give out your address and your number and all that type of stuff. Any parting comments before you get out of here?
Parting comments, man. I want to say be positive in everything that you do, man. What you want can't come to you, just will it to yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Take the best step foot forward. That's pretty much it. For those who don't know me, man, like I said, Goodie Mr. 836058244. Absolute Mother Loving Ink, 4051 Broad River Road. Pull up, hop out. I'll take care of the rest.
All right, man. Hey, this has been another great episode of the RIP 28 podcast, man. It's a podcast where we talk about a few things. Some of those things you might like, some of those things you might not like, but we keep on talking about them on the RIP 28 podcast. Hey, we'll see you back next week. I can't think anything slick to say to end the show, so we're going to end it just like that.
About time.
Big Fast, y'all gonna have to bring me back sometime, man.
Oh yeah, you definitely got that open invitation, brother. Open invitation.
Big Fat.
Big Fat.